Torch. In this beginner to advanced guide, I'll cover his abilities, combos, playstyle, team-ups, and some overall tips to improve. Let's get right into it. The abilities. Fire Cluster. Unlike most heroes, Human Torch's primary fire is resource-based instead of having a reloadable ammo clip. The stocks refresh very quickly. There are 6 charges, and they reload 3 per second. It's like a shotgun, and each little shot hits for 7 damage, with headshots counting. Alternating between firing a few rounds of primary fire and using his other abilities maximizes uptime and ensures you're constantly attacking. Good for air-to-air battles. The decent projectile speed and critical hit capability make Fire Cluster a good ability when dueling other flying heroes. Secondary fire. Blazing Blast. Best saved for Pyro Prison. Don't use up all your Blazing Blast charges if Pyro Prison is about to come off cooldown. Use Flame Fields to control areas. This ability throws fire at the ground that deals damage per tick. If you hit someone directly with a blast, you deal more damage. The lingering damage of the flame fields created by Blazing Blast is great for cutting off choke points, paths, and doorways. The enemy will either have to walk through and take damage or wait for the flames to extinguish. The flames are especially good when used against immobile vanguards like Groot, who can't quickly escape. Flame Fields Stack. Stacking multiple flames in the same location will deal higher damage. Tips for Pyro Prison. This ability connects multiple Blazing Blasts and creates a sort of cage. Wait until you have 3 or more Blazing Blast charges available. Creating a 3 or 4 point prison is much better than a single line. Since this ability has a long 15-second cooldown, you can't afford to waste it. Anyone in the firewall's path upon activation takes a burst of damage. The same burst damage applies to anyone who walks through the wall at any point during its duration. All enemies inside the walls of Pyro Prison take damage until the flames are extinguished. Hallways are a fire hazard. The large effect of a square or triangle Pyro Prison can take up wall-to-wall space in hallways. Anytime you notice a map area funneling the enemy into a hallway, trap them in your flames. Teams will either get separated, or you'll farm a ton of ULT charge from the enemy forcing their way through. Blocked by walls, stairs, and structures. Make sure your placement of Blazing Blasts has unbroken lines to one another, or the fire won't connect. Uneven surfaces like staircases will also hinder the connection. Shift. Plasma Body. This is a sprint you should always use when not firing. It takes 8 seconds to consume the fuel and 6 seconds to fully recharge. Whether you are fighting and need to evade while healing or waiting for your abilities to refresh, Plasma Body makes Human Torch surprisingly difficult for enemies to track. Flank. While flanking isn't Human Torch's primary role, his burst combos make him a deadly assassin. Use Plasma Body to quickly reposition on the enemy's flank and dive in. Just make sure to save around half of your accelerated ascent resource to escape if you're planning on using Flaming Meteor during the fight. F. Flaming Meteor. 250 HP combo. Fire Cluster, Blazing Blast, Flaming Meteor, and Fire Cluster. Cancel each recovery animation into the next ability. This combo kills 250 HP heroes at close to medium range. Don't slam into a full team. Human Torch is very squishy, and slamming into a group of enemies just gives them a free kill. Only slam into isolated targets or when you see the majority of the enemies are preoccupied by your team. Finish off or escape. Don't initiate an attack with Flaming Meteor. Instead, save it to finish off enemies as a final blow. Sometimes using the slam to quickly escape to safety is a much better use than attacking with it. Human Torch positions himself in dangerous spaces and exposes himself to enemy counterattacks. Supernova. Supernova is one of the best zoning tools any hero has, as it says, "You can't stand here," to the entire enemy team. Use the tornadoes to funnel the enemy into bad positions by pushing them into your team or splitting them off from one another. Up to 3 simultaneous flame tornadoes. Human Torch can spam tornadoes during the full duration of the ULT, but only 3 tornadoes can exist at a time. If the 3 tornadoes are in a good location, use his other abilities to attack. This ultimate can actually kill some healing ultimates. Team-up ability, Omega Fire, Storm. 2 ways to activate. Coordinating the 2 ultimates is very easy because either Human Torch or Storm can activate their ULT first. If Human Torch goes first, Storm can instantly teleport to the location of any flame tornado. If Storm is already ulting, Human Torch presses X to instantly ignite Storm's ultimate and activate his own. Kills through defensive ultimates. Omega Fire from both Human Torch and Storm will outdamage the healing of any defensive ultimates like Invisible Woman's Invisible Boundary. If the entire enemy team is grouping inside their strategist's AoE, unleash the fire and wipe the whole team. You can save your ULT. Just because Storm is ulting doesn't mean you have to use yours as well. If the enemy doesn't have a defensive ultimate available, Storm's ULT will secure eliminations just fine, and you can save your ULT for the next fight. Team-up ability, United Siblings, Invisible Woman. Survive aggressive plays. Having his sister on his team enables much riskier plays for Johnny. Going on deep flanks to attempt to assassinate an enemy strategist is usually difficult and dangerous. Being able to activate bonus health and self-healing makes these plays far less risky and increases your chances of success. Playstyle. Human Torch is a flying DPS that deals good consistent damage with great mobility and can trap multiple enemies. He is really good at flanking and holding choke points. You need to be like a turret of fire, always dealing high damage. With his ultimate, you can create chaos in the enemy team and get a few kills. Remember to always apply pressure and use the meteor or sprint to retreat. If at first, you don't feel too good with the character, don't worry, it takes time to learn, and you'll get better. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you want more guides like this. Have an amazing day.